No limit world we live in.
Yo, welcome to the No Limit Podcast, also known as the Rose from the Concast. Get a blind with a bomb ass, say, oh, what a contrast. It's the dirtiest player in the game, Any Bull, and the half-baked kid, No Limit Eddie. What up?
What's up, dude? How you feeling?
I'm feeling fucking great.
You're feeling fucking great.
Off that one-take intro.
You're feeling a great fucking, or you
That
feeling
one
fucking
shot.
great? That
When
one
are you
shot?
gonna fuck
One
my
shot.
dick, hon?
Wait, what?
When you gonna fuck my dick, hon?
Hon, you told me to go to therapy. What if you just fuck my dick every once in a while?
Joe, don't make anybody shut it off.
What's new, Ed? Anything new in your life?
But you might hear that out of somebody's mouth when they're going through a little men's health problem.
Bro, there's always men's health problems. I'm gonna talk about big on men's health today. Dude, I feel like I've cut my head open and there's hot lava pouring out. That's how much men's health shit is on my mind. Starting last night.
I see it right now coming out your ears.
My back is against the wall.
You're overflown with men's health information.
Men's health is hard to talk
Your
about.
cup has runneth over.
Men don't want to talk about health. You know what I mean? Like the stigma is that like guys don't go to the doctor. Like they just ignore shit forever, right?
Are we not men?
I go to the doctor for every little thing.
But we're going to talk about health. You said men don't want to talk about health.
I mean, who's to say in this day and age if we're men, we're women, we're Neanderthals, we're apes, we're he, she's, theys, What's the one that starts with an X or Z?
Who is to say?
Who is to say? Anyway, who's to say? So men's health, right? Last night I put a poll up. I'm sitting there, I'm conversing, and the question came up. How often do you wash your sheets?
Right.
Right? How often do you
I
wash
had
your
a
sheets?
feeling low-key when as soon as you put that up, and it was confirmed to me, that it was definitely your girl saying, yo, you got to wash these sheets. And you were like, what? I just washed them 2 months ago.
No, it stemmed from me like literally thinking, I was like, have I washed my sheets in the past 7 months? Now, and you know what? Out of the blue, I don't know what I thought about or why it came up, but I remember I asked her. I was like, have I washed my sheets in 7 months? Have I done that? The answer is yes. All right. Now I'm gonna say that up front. Yes, I have.
7 months is a big window.
7 months is a gigantic window, but what happened is when I was 14, I smoked weed for the first time. And ever since then, continuous weed smoke as I was progressing my brain and my brain was growing, it's definitely stunted my memory.
Yep.
So when I think back and was like, have I washed my sheets in 7 months? I have. Do I remember it? No. But did I do it? Yes. And I said to her, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, how often should you wash your sheets? She said, I wash mine every 3 months.
Okay.
All
3
right.
months?
All right. Right. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess.
She's stretching it too.
I was like, I guess me too. It's probably like every 3 months, I'd say, right? Like quarterly. Like probably like over the course of a year, I'm probably good for a handful of washes on my sheets. A handful.
But the problem lies in you don't necessarily have to wash your sheets to change your sheets. You could take your sheets off. Well, if you got a queen bed, you get a couple different sets of queen sheets.
You have multiple sheets?
Now, sheets for sure, I have multiple. Pillowcases and all that? No, there's probably only one for each pillow.
How many pillows do you have on your bed?
4.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I have 5, but one stays perennial, like on my couch at all times.
I won't cap though. There have been times in life where I've been the one pillow dude.
You've been the one pillow
dude?
I have never been the one pillow dude. I'm loaded up on pillows. I love
the
pillows.
worst bedding situation that I ever had. I made a stupid decision. All growing up, I had a nice bed. Not since I was a kid, like probably like my late teen years.
Your fucking bed away.
No, you dickhead.
I was like, no way.
When did I say that? When did I say anything that made you think of that?
Because you were like, we were talking about beds, and you're like, the worst gambling situation I ever had. I had this twin bed.
The worst betting situation.
Oh, betting.
Not betting.
Oh!
Betting.
English is tough.
Chill, I'm still hitting NBA every night. So the worst betting situation that I ever been in was I had a nice bed like in my late teens, and then I went away to college and I got a twin bed for my house in college. And
was
like,
it a dorm?
Yeah, no, I moved into a house, and you just deal with it. When you're talking about that, you just deal with it. Like you just get a twin bed, like you're gonna have for a couple of years, whatever.
Well, your feet aren't like hanging off.
No,
of it.
it's just that
it's
you
thin.
couldn't fit another person comfortably. No way.
Not comfortably.
Not even yourself. Like if you roll over a couple times, you're gonna end up on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But I made this stupid decision because the bed was comfortable. It was just small. I told my family back at the house that they could get rid of the good bed, and then I came home from college having to use the twin bed.
Yeah, 'cause,
Trash.
like, when you're not in the middle of it,
Trash.
you just think like, yeah, get rid of that bed. I don't need it. Yeah, that's rough.
Yep, it was horrible. For a couple years, I was rocking.
Are
with
you
the
back
twin.
to what? Full queen?
Back to a queen piece now.
You're a queen piece. I'm a full guy.
Yeah,
I definitely need more than a full socks.
queen piece, 4 pillows, fresh sheets. I'm
A
sleeping
full
good.
socks. I couldn't imagine going back to a twin. A twin's hardcore.
Yeah,
What are we talking about?
men's health, but we're also crossing it over with men's cleanliness,
sheets,
men's
sheets.
hygiene.
Right,
basically.
no, we're talking about sheets, right? So, yeah, I was like, okay, so she washes hers every 3 months or so. I was like, this would be an interesting poll on Instagram. Anybody who like follows me on Instagram knows I like to put polls up from once in a while. Sometimes they're controversial. Sometimes they're just like goofy. Sometimes they're not even cool. And then this night's poll, it kind of blew up because she also posted the same poll on her story because we have two different
and that's why
demographics
I
completely.
confirmed that you guys were beefing over washing sheets.
We weren't beefing though. We're kind of in agreement. It was like every 3 months. Then all of our DMs, me and
where was
her,
the debate? You said settle a debate.
I settled a debate to get people to. I was trying to bait everybody to vote.
Right.
Settle a debate because I need your votes right now. Right. That's why I needed everybody to vote. Because if I just said how often you wash your sheets, everyone's gonna be like, Dan, shut up. But if I was like settle a debate, they'd be like, oh, I'll help them out.
Yeah.
But we weren't debating.
Everybody wants to settle a debate.
We were in agreement.
Nobody wants to vote.
Nobody wants to vote. And everybody flooded me and her DMs saying weekly.
Weekly?
They were like, yo, I wash my sheets every week. I wash my sheets twice a week.
You have
I wash them every
OCD
day.
and you're way overdoing it. That's what I would say.
And that's why I followed it up with a story saying, I know yous are all lying. There's no way that yous all
Wash
say
your sheets weekly.
wash your sheets weekly.
Or even monthly.
Even 2 times a month. There's
I
no
would say
way.
I voted every 2
You
months.
voted every 2 months. That's
because
respectable.
I would say that I try to do it once a month, but I'd be lying if I said that I hit that once a month every time.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. Like right now, so my full disclosure, my bed does not stink. It's got like holes in it because I've dropped like joints and shit in my bed while I was sitting there.
Oh, you got the bed burns?
Yeah, I definitely got bed burns. But like
Cigarette
they're
joints?
not dirty. I get 2 showers a day. I'm a morning shower, I'm a night shower.
That reminds me growing up, bro. That's a fond memory. My dad, when I was a young kid, in his bed smoking a cigarette, falling asleep, and it burned in the bed.
Yeah, dude, that's just like that's what happens with the smokers. Smokers have holes in their clothes, their bed. Shout out Just Hatton. They got them in their car. Now, what happened is, so everybody starts messaging, yeah, weekly. I'm like, yous are all lying. There's no way yous are pulling all of your pillowcases off, all your sheets off, and washing them twice a month. There's no
chance. Especially the
way.
pillowcases, like I said, because some people got them multiple changes of sheets, which I do.
I don't. I have 1 pair of sheets.
The multiple pillowcases, it's rare, real rare.
Are your pillows yellow? Like underneath
Some.
the pillow?
You ever
I
see
got, like,
that
2
meme
yellow
that's
ones, I
like
got
you'll
2
never
white
know
ones.
the comfort of a guy's yellow pillow?
Yes. Shout out Jared Brown.
Well, it's yellow because that is the pillow that you've chosen to carry on through life. No matter what your sleeping situation has changed into, that pillow has stuck with you. That's why it's yellow. And that's why dudes love their yellow pillow because it's the one that's been with them for the longest.
That makes sense because the 2 pillows I have that are yellow, I have had them like probably since high school.
Exactly.
Like, I've had them for
Any
a long
new
time.
pillows you get are going to be white. And then if you use
Yeah.
that pillow and you don't really like it throughout your use, then it goes away before it ever becomes your yellow pillow.
The 2 pillows I have right now that are white, they're like my prop up pillows. You know what I'm saying? You all right there? The level's good?
Yeah.
They're like my prop up pillows. But when it gets down to business, when I'm like ready to go to sleep, they get exiled to the back of the bed and I'm laying with my yellow pillows. But Jared, my friend Jared said this to me too. He's like, yo, how fire is a yellow pillow? Like everybody loves their yellow pillow. I was like, yeah. And he also voted that he said everyone's a liar and he washes his sheets twice a year. Now, I respect that answer. I respect that answer because that is an honest answer.
For the first couple years
Sorry
of that,
to air you out, Jared, if you don't want that
for the
information.
first couple years of that, he was sick as a dog all the time. But as his life went on, his immune system and his body became stronger because of that.
That's
sure.
also what I wanted to say. So I wash my sheets a handful of times a year, every 3 months. So you're thinking 4 or 5 times a year. something happens, something crazy happens to your bed, you got to change them. Girl squirts everywhere, you got to change your sheets. You know what I mean? It's something nuts.
Nah, low key, bro. You just gotta let that shit dry.
There's times where a girl squirted on my bed and I just slept on it for like 3 months. Nah, I'm kidding. So
I'm not.
But he gave me an honest answer. You know what I mean? I know that everyone's like, yeah, I wash my sheets weekly. You're telling me that's right. That's regimented. That's regimented. So you really do wash your sheets twice a month. You don't get depressed and fucking let it stretch for 4 months. You're every month. It's twice a month.
Absolutely not. I just recently started making my bed daily.
But I still don't make my bed. That's something I gotta make up. But like I said before, I'm a morning and I'm a night shower. So if I shower at night and put clean clothes on, why? Like, what is so dirty about my bed? Do you wash your couch? Do you wash the chair in your living? Like, you sit on it still. You still occupy it, but you never wash it.
Yeah.
So why is the bedding so
Well, the thing especially
gross?
about pillowcases is because your hair's on it and your hair is real greasy.
Your hair and you drool on it. I
yeah.
can see the pillowcase
and your
thing.
face is on it with your face kind of oily. So that the pillowcases are
How
different.
oily is my face if I shower before I
exactly.
get to bed?
That's
Now,
another part of it.
if I get drunk and I go to my bed and I'm not showering before that. Like,
I saw that added caveat, which is true. If you are a nighttime shower before bed, your sheets will definitely stay more clean.
Yeah, for
Also,
sure.
morning showers are corny. I just want to say that right now.
Really?
Like, you get up, showering at night is so much better because then you wash all the dirt off you before you go to sleep, and you wake up clean.
See, I get a shower in the morning because it wakes me up.
But is it hot?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get a cold shower, blast yourself with cold water and wake up. I understand that. But a hot shower, I stand there and I want to go to sleep. I don't shower in the morning. I feel like the last time I showered in the morning was when I used to go to, like, grade school. And what I would do is I would only get in the shower in the morning when I was super tired.
That's so long
Not
ago.
even to wake up, just knowing that I could stand there in the hot water and feel like I was sleeping because it was that comforting, just standing there in the hot water.
You get cold showers ever?
No, what I like to do if I do get a cold shower, and this definitely ties in with men's health because there's huge talks right now about cold plunges, cold showers, the health benefits that come with that. I don't like the like jumping into ice or turning your shower on to extremely cold and getting in it. What you do is instead of taking a hot steamy shower, you just take like a mid-range where like the water's whatever, and then as you get to the end of your shower, you keep turning it down so you don't get shocked with that cold, but you keep gradually turning it down. And then maybe right before you get out for like 1 minute, you turn it to where it's like coming out cold now. Not ice cold freezing, but the water's coming out cold. And you stand there for like a minute. I like to let it hit my chest. I feel like
I only
it
do
gets
that in
the
the
heart
summer.
pumping.
I only do that in the summer. And I think that ice cold showers and like steaming, piping hot showers are both psychotic. Like you said, the health benefits of like an ice cold. I don't want those health benefits.
Isn't it weird how
I want a hot shower.
I feel like this is
A warm
consensus.
shower.
It isn't even just maybe in my life or in your life if you agree, but women can take such hotter showers than men, just on average, and like not be fazed by the heat of the water.
Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like girls just like hang out in the shower. Like, I get in the shower and it's all purpose. I wash my hair. I wash my face first, get the oils off my face, because then my hair is going to naturally fall back into my face. So I wash my face so it's not oily anymore, then wash my hair so when my hair falls, it's all in clean skin. And then I go top to bottom. Neck, armpits, shoulders, chest, stomach, down to the dick, down to the balls, round to the ass, legs, feet. I go complete head to toe, right? And there isn't a second wasted. I don't sit in there and just like stand on my arms folded and just stand in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
I wash and I get out. So my showers range from, 4 to 6 minutes. Anybody taking like a shower longer than 15 minutes, it's like, why? But I hear people like my whole life saying, oh yeah, like I love a half-hour shower or I love an hour-long shower.
What are you doing?
What are you doing in there?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? If you're not jerking off, what are you doing in the shower for an hour? Just standing there?
How could you just stand there? That's right.
And not touch your dick. Do you ever jerk off in the shower? Were you a shower jerker?
That was never my preferred method, but
It was for a
definitely
while.
had
I definitely
before.
had like a phase where I was a shower guy.
yeah, never my preferred method, honestly.
It always sucked, but I'm surprised I stuck with it because like your cum gets it coagulates.
Oh, you're
Like,
gonna
sticks
crack
to it.
another brewski, huh?
Yeah, it's one of them days.
Real good for your health, huh? Where's
So-
mine? Where's the one you gave me?
I don't know where it's over there. Right there.
Not near any electronics.
No limit. So men's health also has a lot of different avenues, but we stemmed it off this conversation of this poll from last night because, health is all different. And you said something about like pimples in your body. I don't have that.
I don't get body pimples either.
But I had somebody message me and they were like, yeah, I used to get all these body pimples and then I started changing my sheets or washing them more regularly and that went away. But I was like, how dirty are you?
No, yeah.
Because I wash my sheets once every 3 months, realistically, like legitimately. And I do not suffer from bacne or like none of that shit.
Let me give out a no limit life tip. This is for men or women. If you got bacne and it's not from steroid use, dry your fucking back when you get out of the shower. You motherfuckers are letting your hair sit on your back wet. You're not drying your back with one of these bad boys, Home Alone pieces, and that's what you need to do. You need to start taking drying your back seriously, and you'll get that fucking zit off your back. What, my gooch?
Yeah.
Nah,
I don't do
none of that. You get in there and dry it, but if you're flossing your gooch, you're wild.
Yeah, I feel like that's crazy talk. Are you a toilet paper or are you a wipe guy?
Toilet paper, but I've explained this maybe on the podcast, maybe just to you, because I say I got the cleanest butthole this side of the Mississippi. There hasn't been a shit probably since I was like 10 years old that I didn't make sure to finish with wetting one, wiping it out, getting a dry one, wiping it out, and the last wipe has to have nothing. It has to have nothing. If it has anything, there will be another wipe. The final wipe has to be a blank piece of toilet paper. I'm willing to have wasted all that toilet paper over my life on a nonsensical ass wipe to be sure that there's nothing left in my ass.
Do people walk away from the toilet with poop ass? I never walk away unless I get a wipe where there's nothing on it. I investigate each wipe. The first one's horrific. Like you take a shit, the first wipe is World War III. Yeah. Throw that in there, bang. Then you need a few more.
A lot of microbacteria in that first wipe.
There's gangrene in there. And then I will not get off the toilet, like you said, unless I get a wipe that has nothing but white. I want to see nothing but white. And then I will get up. So
you ever been sitting there and you just can't? You're just wiping away, and every single one somehow comes back with something.
There's times I've thrown an entire roll of toilet paper into the toilet. There's been times where my ass is like ink. It's just there.
If they
it's
had
a printing press.
If they had any thoughts of turning it off when I said, "Why don't you fuck my dick?" They're definitely giving up on it now.
It's a poop printing press, but I've kind of got it down to a science now. So what I do now is I buy ultra fucking soft Charmin. I buy the best of the best of the best of the best, right? Yep. So I get 2 squares. This is how good this toilet paper is. I get 2 actual square units. Fold them over top of each other.
Oh, he's an absolute unit.
He's an absolute unit with 2 squares. 2 squares, fold them together. So that's a square on top of the square. Wipe that. Boom, boom, boom.
2 squares and 4 rolls ago.
Now 3 times. 3 wipes with this apparatus.
Bing, boom, bing.
So it's, fold it over, wipe, fold it over, wipe, fold it over, wipe, right? 3 different squares. Then reach over into the sink, wet a pile. Wipe with that, get another pile of toilet paper, dry, wipe with that, nothing. Boom, gone. There's no poop printing press. It's gone. There's all white. It's beautiful. It's an amazing system.
And that's it.
That's it.
I feel like low-key, if you're a guy tuning into this podcast, you're catching gems right now.
Gems.
We've given straight health gems
so far. But we all go through these problems. And my asshole's been through fucking hell with toilet paper, right? Like everybody's had that time where like, you're just wiping too much and like the toilet paper is literally sandpaper and it just destroys your ass. Like everyone's had those moments. And
little bloody boot.
Yeah, a little bloody boot. But nobody wants to have that. Because that's even dirtier. Why? Like, I actually saw a TikTok. Some, like, fat chick was like, how come something is this, but every time I shit, I wipe my ass, it's bloody as hell, but, like, I don't get sick. And I was like, amen.
I don't know. It sounds like something that you're going through that I don't want to be involved with.
You have the cleanest ass ever?
This side of Mississippi, for sure. Now, I don't know what they're doing on the other side of Mississippi. They might have some duvets, a little apparatus where they super clean their butts, so I ain't putting it out there like that. But this side of the Mississippi where things are still kind of, old school.
Dude,
clean his ass.
So I'm not a wipe guy. I heard wipes are actually bad for you, and I think that like putting something that has like chemicals in it against your asshole just isn't good.
Just a little water on the TP
I don't
is
like
fine.
A little water on the TP is fine. Let me get the minerals from the pipes on my ass that are, you know, earthly.
You know what they say about you ever do a neti pot?
No, I heard about it though.
So they say you have to use distilled water because if you use water from your sink, there's like microorganisms in it that like you don't want to squirt up into your brain, which is a little iffy to begin with. I've heard that and then used a neti pot with distilled water after the fact, but I've definitely done it with sink water before. And could you apply the same thing and wiping your ass with that? I wonder if you're putting like little, microbes in your butt.
I don't really buy into that theory because number one, when you shower, you're always gonna have open orifices. You're gonna have your nose, your eyes, your ears, your butthole, your dick hole. You have open areas.
Facts.
Then you're gonna have a cut on your finger and on your arm and on your kneecap and on your leg. You're gonna have cuts, and water's always gonna get into that, and the water's coming from the pipe. So I really don't buy into that theory. Plus, when you're putting it on your ass, that's exterior. I'm not injecting my asshole with wet toilet paper. I'm just wiping my skin with wet toilet paper. So I don't really believe in the microorganisms like getting into my body through that.
Right.
But a crazy story that came to my life recently, like this happened to me recently. You all right there? Yeah. You having a little paranoid check? No, we're good. So I recently I was in a public bathroom stall taking a shit, right? Which is always like kind of like a nightmare. Right? You don't want to ever have to poop in public. Now, I'm a daily public pooper because there's the nature of my job and that's just what I have to do. Like
Big facts.
I have to poop publicly. So I'm sitting in this stall, and in the stall next to me, somebody else is pooping. Mind you, this is a public restroom.
Yes.
A public restroom that gets pretty destroyed, like regularly, and does not get cleaned. It doesn't get a deep cleaning. And definitely not daily. This person wiped the roll with their hand, right? Like this. Until the toilet paper coiled on the floor. Grabbed it off the floor and wiped their ass with it.
Rookie mistake. That's such a clear and obvious. You don't let it hit the floor, bro.
But this is a grown man. You can tell it's a grown man. It's not like a child in there.
Yeah,
you can see
the size of his shoes.
You see legs and shoes. So like this is a grown man.
You see he's wearing Air Monarchs. You know it's a 50-plus-year-old man.
He let the toilet paper coil to the floor. Swiped it, grabbed it, and then wiped his ass. Like, how could you be that barbaric and careless with your asshole?
Yeah, but if you think all the way back to it, you're using the word barbarian, like. They were wiping their ass with leaves, bro. If you offered them a piece of toilet paper that coiled up on the floor, they would love it. They would love it.
You think barbarians are wiping their ass with leaves, dude? You weren't there.
No, they probably weren't. Low key, exactly what they were doing was
cloth.
No, they probably just shit and then like went to the nearest body of water and like shook their ass in it.
So that's another thing. If I'm home, because we've both talked about this in the podcast before, we shit butt naked. If I'm home, I am shitting butt naked. Everything is coming off.
And put your shoes back on.
So I started that with slippers. I get butt naked and wear big ass slippers, which looks funny as shit, but that's how I do it. But if I am home, I will shit butt naked, and I like to get in the shower because I don't want to put that much toilet paper against my butt anyway, right? Because you don't want to keep wiping your ass. It's just like it's just you're asking for disaster. So if you can get into the shower right there, you're already right next to it. So you kill two birds with one stone. You take your shit and you get a shower. There's nothing better than getting the water through your cheeks. Even on like a package of wipes, it says get shower clean. Get like the closest to a shower clean with these wipes because the shower is the ultimate way to clean your ass. So get a few wipes and then get in the shower. It's perfect. But yeah, this person literally let it hit the fucking floor and wiped their ass with it. If I shit in public, I don't know about you. Like, do you put like the little waxing things down, the little wax?
Yeah, I do.
I don't. I sit on it, but I won't.
You gotta rip them up so that they cover the whole thing.
Yeah, you gotta rip that. You know, like it comes like the thing in the middle. You gotta rip that off. So it's just like the U.
But then you even gotta like it doesn't perfectly. If you leave it all together after that, it doesn't perfectly fit. So I like to rip it into 3 pieces and like.
Oh no, that's crazy. No, I just ripped the middle out so it's like a horseshoe. It looks like the Colts logo.
We've been talking about wiping ass for like 10 minutes.
It's all
Fire
right.
though.
I mean, this is everyone goes through it.
For real.
This is what the people want.
People need to hear this from somebody.
Um,
There's questions out there, especially about men's health that men have, and just probably about other topics too, that people want to hear about, low-key. And like, where are you gonna go to hear some information about it? Well, welcome to the No Limit Podcast.
No limit. I mean, I've expressed before on this podcast, I'm not afraid to, go with over any topic, and I spare no detail about my own life. Like I talked, like I've had times where I've fucking wiped my ass and it's been like blood and it's been fucked up. Right? It happens. It's life. I don't think enough people talk about it, and I was upset when I put that poll up that
People were lying.
on my personal poll. So no limit on my Instagram, right? On my personal Instagram, I went through and I just removed everybody. I removed everybody that I don't talk to. So if you go on my Instagram, I follow like 300 people. There's like 300 people who follow me because that's who I talk to and that's who I engage with mostly
Facts.
on a day-to-day basis for the most part. If I don't talk to you or if I haven't seen you in years, well, I'm not following your account and I don't even want you to follow my account. You can follow the No Limit page because
Exactly.
that's my venture.
We're in it for the clout.
But my personal page, fuck off, dude. I really don't want to talk. I don't know what I mean, but that's old hat.
Right.
So I went through and personally removed 800 people.
So what
from
you're
following
saying
my
is all
page.
these people that voted on your poll
I'm cool
and told
with,
you
to
their
a degree.
opinion on their sheets, you know them for real.
Right, to a degree, I know them. I'm cool with them. I would comment on anything they post, or I would message them, and they message me about my post. That's the kind of people I left on my page.
Facts.
And the amount of people who just straight up lied and even said monthly, because I didn't give a weekly option. I said monthly, every 2 months, every 3 months, or longer. Anybody who voted longer, I have the utmost respect for because that's a real ass answer. Anybody who voted 3 months, utmost respect. Anybody who voted 2 months, utmost respect, including yourself. You've said 2 months because that might be, you might hit 5 weeks, you might have 4 weeks, you might hit 7. You're like that average range. But if you said monthly and then DM me and said, bro, every 2 weeks, you are fucking lying right
I
to my
do
face.
plan on when I grow up though getting like some nice silk sheets. So maybe when
yeah,
I grow
when you
up,
have
like I'm
nice
not grown
sheets,
up,
bro.
but
I
I'm
got
saying
Target shit that I bought for fucking
One day.
$30. Like who cares?
when I'm like 40.
And yeah, my sheets are in the wash right now.
Yeah, yours are right now.
Yeah, I'm washing them right now, but that's because I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's not
You didn't
because-
get peer pressured in
That
that.
is not because there was 30 people who DM'd me and said they wash them every week. I washed my sheets today because I wanted to.
Yeah.
And nobody can take that away from me.
I didn't wear deodorant today because I wanted to. Because I didn't want to.
I forgot deodorant and I put it on before the podcast.
Why? No difference. I'm sitting here with you.
Usually, so in my life, and I know you feel very strongly about this topic, in my life, I've definitely decreased the amount of deodorant use by probably 60%.
For real. The only people that you're ever, like if you're in the gym and someone smells like an onion, that's because they have never put on deodorant a day in their life. Whether it's because of their religion, because of their own uncleanliness, whatever reason it is. If someone smells that bad, like an Italian hoagie, they have never worn deodorant ever. I'm here to advocate for those that have worn deodorant. Probably, their whole life have worn it daily.
No, when you start wearing
But
deodorant,
now-
like 4th grade, 5th grade, like you start wearing
when your hormones start kicking in. But now, as I've grown up and you realize, these are chemicals going onto your armpit, and that's kind of a bad spot to be putting chemicals. Like it's easy access to, a lot of important organs that are in here. Like I do believe deodorant is important. I don't think anybody should quit deodorant cold turkey. But in my own life, I've started to practice maybe like an every other day routine or not wearing it specifically when I know I'm not going to have to be in public and the possible body odor
Do you
smell
shave
could
your
bother
armpits?
someone else. No, I don't shave my armpits.
So at the end of the day, if you don't wear deodorant, at the end of the day, right, you take your shirt off. You don't like take your shirt off and go, ooh.
Yes, but
It's not horrible, but
It's
you're
not
like,
exactly.
but you're like, there's some must.
it's not horrible. Number 2, I'm the only one who had to smell it.
Mhm.
Number 3, as we established earlier, I'm a night showerer. So at the end of the day, when I take that shirt off, I'm going to hop in the shower. I'm going to clean my armpits. I'm not going to put deodorant before bed. That's fucking prehistoric times. As a culture, we got to look at deodorant before bed and say, come on now.
Yeah, that's
What,
insane.
What's going
That's
on
insane.
here?
Yeah,
Who are you trying to impress going to sleep with deodorant on?
no, yeah, that is actually really crazy to me. And what's even crazier to me about that is I know it's true because there's people who told me they do it. There's people who actually said, no, I put you like. They're like, but they look down on you. Like, yeah, I put deodorant on before I go to sleep. You crazy? Like,
so
what?
like the caveats for me to wear deodorant anymore is like, am I going to be in the presence of other people who would have an issue with me smelling bad? If the answer is yes, boom, throw some deodorant on.
I only wear deodorant if I'm going to work or if I'm going out.
Yeah,
If
so
I'm going
that fits
out,
the requirements.
right,
That I
I'm
just
going
said.
out.
Both of those locations, someone else would have a problem with you stinking.
Today, I am off.
And I would also have a problem with somebody stinking.
Right,
so
sure,
that's why
yeah.
I'm
because
courteous.
like, what's wrong with you? You knew you were coming out. You're really gonna fucking smell like a goddamn horse. I am off today. Today's my off day. You're coming over to do a podcast. I don't fuck. I put deodorant on today because it was like whatever, right?
Yeah.
But normally I would.
And we're
not.
still gonna make out after, right?
Exactly, and you're gonna smell my armpits. But I normally would not put deodorant on today at all at any point. Not in the morning, not in the night. I'll put soap in my armpits, wash them, and that's it. I also in my life started using actual deodorant and not antiperspirant. And not just deodorant, I use aluminum-free deodorant. It costs a little bit more money, but it says aluminum-free on it. And it's like, okay, if this deodorant does not have aluminum in it, that's just, I'm buying it on the shelf knowing that this one particularly has one less chemical that's going to go into my arms. Of course I'm going to buy that one.
Yeah.
So I have Dove for Men aluminum-free. Yeah, give me the aluminum-free one. It's going to be less on my arms. And it has to say deodorant because I heard that antiperspirant actually will block
your sweat.
The sweat glands, and all of those toxins will stay in your boobs and in your tit area.
And that can cause breast cancer.
It can cause, even for men, it can cause breast cancer, right? So, just knowing this information, like you said, in today's day and age, when we know this information, I am a normal person. I'm not a scientist. I'm not even a smart human being. Even in today's day and age, I understand to shop for aluminum-free deodorant and to buy deodorant over antiperspirant. Like what do I know? It's just obvious. If those are the things that are, of course, I'll buy deodorant. And if you wear antiperspirant, I notice that like, if I put antiperspirant on at 8 a.m., say, I work a full day, I get home, my armpits still smell good. If I wear deodorant in the morning and I work a full day, I get home, I take my shirt off, I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of must there because it wears off. It's just like it's like a buffering. It's like, all right, I know I'm gonna be out, I'm gonna be exerting energy, I'm gonna work up a sweat, I'm gonna work up a stink, and your body naturally stinks at the end of the day. That's just what humans smell. It's like when you die, they smell like shit.
Bro, I think honestly, another thing that we gotta throw in here with men's health, and now this is one where I know there's plenty of dudes out there with questions.
As we sit here and drink while the birds are chirping.
I know there's plenty of dudes out there with questions about this, and they're fucking scared to ask them. And it's time on a No One podcast that we bring it up about men's health. Men's hair loss.
Oh.
Dude, everybody's going through it. Every single person in our age bracket, anybody from the age bracket 24 to 35, to some extent, you're seeing hair loss.
Yeah, because when you were 18, you're like, but like when you look back at yourself at 18, you're like, damn, I have way more hair.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
But what I think the problem is that a huge factor about hair loss is stress.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people crumple under the stress, and when they see that first little bit, when they see that first bit of recede on their hairline, they stress more, and it gets worse and worse and worse. So then there's these pills that they offer you, right? Like that you can go and sign up, right?
This and
so
that.
Now I don't know if it's serious or not, but I heard a comedian talk about that he takes the pills for keeping his hair, but he said if he takes them too many days in a row, he can't get a boner.
That's why, dude.
That's
why I hate medicine, because there's always an alternative.
There's always a side effect.
Yeah.
But you know why? Because I'm pretty sure that the key to hair growth, just in general, especially on your head, I don't know, but I think your body actually has to do with testosterone production. Like your body hair will be caused by testosterone, but your head hair is actually caused by estrogen. So if you have an increase in testosterone, even if you like go to the doctor, get testosterone like steroids injected into your butt, that's going to contribute to your hair loss, because now you're mitigating your estrogen levels by increasing your testosterone levels. Now your testosterone levels can increase because of a bunch of things. Like if you just start working out more in general, your test levels will go up. So that's a major part of it. And I feel like people are so quick to run the medication. Like they're so quick to
Because it's like a stab to your ego. It's like, oh my god, I have a bald spot here. I have to take a pill now. I have to get my hair back.
yeah. One thing that I would say that I would suggest, no limit tip, just like I said about the bacne thing, is as a dude, brush your fucking hair. A lot of guys are waking up and they don't brush their hair. They haven't brushed their hair for years. They have not stimulated the follicles on their head for years and years and years. And they're wondering why they're just saying, oh, peace out. You don't give a fuck about them. They're rolling.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, it has also to do a lot with blood flow to your head. And a lot of people that have bad posture, I don't have the greatest posture, but I've tried my best not to lean forward, hunch forward like this. But being hunched forward like this and a lot of stress being in your neck and in your traps prevents blood flow to your head. So I would say that's another thing that people need to work on. Stretch out your traps. Massage, like I said, massage your head, massage the back of your neck. Keep that blood flow going to your head. These are natural things that can help you prolong the process. Because I feel like I started noticing a little bit of hair loss on myself maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And I immediately started doing all those things that I said, and the speed of it has immensely slowed down. Like when you first notice it, you're like, holy shit. Like you said, you look back at a picture of yourself when you're 18 and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize I had so much more hair back then.
Crisp. I've always had a shit hairline. I've always had the widow's peak.
But then as soon as I just started taking a little better care of my hair, like brushing it, making sure like my traps aren't really tight, like blood can still flow to my head, using better hair products. Like I found, don't use fucking Axe 3-in-1 hair wash. Don't use that shit.
Yeah.
Even I like the Head and Shoulder stuff for dandruff. It's cool, but I feel like it's still low level. Like I went and you got to be willing to drop a little bread. Like I bought this fucking French one from like a what's that girls makeup store? It's orange. Ulta.
Yeah.
Like
the Sephora's the black and white.
What's the name? A shampoo and conditioner pair. Brand OUAI brand. OUAI. Been absolutely great. Been absolutely great for my hair. You got to be willing to spend some money on hair products, some leave-in products. A lot of you motherfuckers, your hair is just dry as the fucking desert, and that's what the problem is to begin with. But just don't, I would just say the whole gist of it is don't be running the medications right away, especially medications that's going to make it so you can't get a fucking boner.
That's what I'm saying. Would you rather have a boner or a head of hair? I'd rather just shave my head and get rock hard boners. You know, that's the other positive, is that as a male, right, as a man, is it the worst thing in the world to be bald? No, it doesn't.
Everybody swears they'll look so ugly bald, but everyone will look so normal.
It's fine. That's the thing, is it's fine. You know, Bill Burr said this famously a few years ago. You're going to shave your head, and everyone's going to go, whoa, for a day. And then in 3 days later, you're going to be just Danny bald. And that's just what normal life is. And no one's going to care. And no one's going to give a fuck. Everybody, like, freaks out. Like, am I losing my, like, yes, you're losing your hair.
Yep.
You're going to lose it. Men lose their hair. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens to most people. Not everybody's
And it
Jim
doesn't look
Carrey,
as
75 years old with a full head of
Right.
hair.
And
Plus, he probably has hair plugs.
And that's number one, you can get surgery to really make it like look legit. But like I was talking about earlier, prolonging it, if you can just hold on to what you got until you're like 50, who gives a fuck if you're bald when you're 55?
Yeah, dude,
Who
your wife's
cares?
fat, you got 3 kids, you got a grandkid, you fucking watch the Eagles, and who cares if you got a head of hair?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
And now to
Eat ice cream and drink beer.
And now to soiree this into letting your hair grow, what we were kind of chatting about pre-podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I think also people should let your hair grow out more. Number one, I'm wearing this hat thanks to Annie Bull because I need to cut tremendously. But I did go like 3 months now, like just letting my hair grow and letting it get a little longer.
You want to show the audience, or you got bad head now? Or hat hair?
Yeah, go ahead. My shit's fucked up, but
It's not that. I mean, it's not super long. Like, I let my hair get long.
yeah.
I go real long with my hair. And like you said, the point you're making was, you know, well, go ahead and explain it, because you're going to explain it better than I am.
When you do grow your hair out, I feel like it like encapsulates whatever you were doing during that time of growing your hair out. it just like holds it all. Like that head of hair just holds all of that. Whatever you were going through, whatever mission you were trying to accomplish, while you said, you know what, fuck it, I'm not worried about going to get a haircut. I'm so committed to this or that I'm just letting my hair grow. I don't care that you're gonna go through the awkward stage, because everybody knows the awkward stage. If anybody's ever tried to grow their hair long, you know you hit those awkward stages where your hair just looks fucking weird. Like it just is at the wrong length. But you got to get through those things to ever have long hair that looks good. And while doing that process, it holds the story.
I feel like your hair has like a little bit of wave to
it's
it.
like a king's mane or something.
Like you don't have like straight hair. So like if your hair grew, it doesn't go straight down. You have a little bit of a wave to it. It's got like a little bit of like volume. Like my hair goes completely curly. So I feel like if you have straight hair, especially as a guy, that awkward stage is way more awkward.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like for me, I kind of, when I get out of the shower, I don't
if your head's not growing into a bush, if it's just growing that way.
Yeah, I put no product in my hair whatsoever. The only product that goes into my hair is shampoo and conditioner. But when I get out of the shower, all I did was a few of these, and then my hair is good for the whole day. It'll hold.
Especially when you get a cut. I feel the same way. When I get a haircut, all it takes is like 2 brushes to the side, and I'm Gucci.
But not even with the comb. I do it with my hands.
Yeah.
I mean, so when I get out of the shower, I take my comb and I comb my hair all down, just for a bunch, like just to get the molecules flowing, like you said. Just wake the hair up, right? Go down, brush, get the shampoo running through.
Do a lot with that.
That's when the pores are open, and you just brush through, bang, 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 bang. Then I go through and I get a couple brushes, and that's it. But when my hair gets really long, the brush effect does not work anymore because it becomes so heavy that it will fall. So if I brush it up with my hand, it'll fall. So then it gets to a point where it's just down, but it's not long enough. So then it just looks weird. But then after a month or two, it gets very long to where it looks cute as hell. And that's when everybody loves me again. But if you have that straight hair, I feel like it gets like greasy faster. Yeah. It looks weird, you know? So good thing I don't have to deal with that. And there are times where I've let my hair grow a lot recently. Like since 2020, when COVID happened, that was the first time I let my hair grow out long, probably within 5 years before that. Because the 5 years before that, I was getting a haircut every 2-3 weeks, getting a high fade.
Thinking back to the beginning of COVID, dude, I had grown out hair and I was like 200 pounds.
Yeah, so was I. I was like 205 pounds and my hair was grown out for the first time, and I had a goatee. So I looked very different.
I think it's been an amazing conversation on men's health here. I really think so.
I mean,
I think a lot of questions have been answered for people that are searching for answers.
I am very health conscious, as you know, so much so to the point where I am a full blown. I will say now I'm like a recovering hypochondriac. Now, from the ages of 18, 19 to 25, I was a full-blown hypochondriac.
Now, I don't know how far you're into it, like how deep you are a hypochondriac, but I think that a huge problem with people fearing major illnesses is the ease that you can look up your symptoms and the results that it will give you. Now, that's such a cliche. Everybody knows if you're WebMD, you have a cough, it'll tell you got cancer. But I just think that before that became a meme, before that became an overarchingly known thing, that if you just look up, I'm sneezing, what's wrong? It's going to tell you the worst possible scenario.
Yeah.
Before that became that way, it really did do damage to people's psyche for them to be looking up like, oh, I've been coughing for 3 days. Hey, you might have tuberculosis.
Yep, and that's exactly what it is. And I think what happened to me was at the age of 18, it was 2015, right? So WebMD is very prominent, but the outspoken word against WebMD, like, don't look your shit up.
Yeah.
That wasn't really happening yet.
Right.
You were just using the internet. Like, oh my God, I can't see what's going on. And they're like, oh my God, you have ocular melanoma and you're dead. Now you're dead. That's basically what you were reading. So a lot of that started to happen to me. And when growing up, I had a very bad anxiety about people breaking into my home. And I got over that. And then it started to creep into like checking burners and doors and stuff like that. And then it manifested itself in the health. And I think that my anxiety was just channeling, different avenues. It started with people breaking into my home, and like when I'm sleeping, I'm gonna have to fight this burglar as a fucking 13-year-old kid, like protect my family. Like that was like my thought. I would go to bed and be like, I have to have this fucking bat next to my bed because I'm gonna smash somebody's brain in when they come in at 3 a.m. and try to kill my mom. Like that was really my thought. And then that went away, and I started to think about, oh, well, what if the burner was just left on and we all exploded and
I'd say I took way more of that into account when I was younger and really couldn't do shit. Like I was the same way, like bad under the bed type kid.
Yeah,
but
maybe,
nowadays, when I'm an adult and actually could do something, I keep nothing.
I don't worry about it at all. I don't worry about that at all. And like you said, you're way more able-bodied and capable to handle somebody breaking into your home, and you don't even care. So, and I think part of that is just life, right? Like, I started having those thoughts at 13 years old, but then 6 years went by and nobody ever broke into my home or any of my neighbors' homes. And it was just like, I don't have to keep worrying about that. And then the burners, right? I kept checking the burners and the doors and the locks, and I don't have to, like, they're always locked and the burners are always off. I don't have to keep worrying about it.
OCD tendencies.
Right. So then the hypochondria kicked in, and it got really bad, dude. Like, to the point where, like, I would be going to the doctors all the time, and I kept getting tests done, and, like, everything, every little thing I made so much bigger. But, like, here I am, I'm 26, and every time I go to the doctors, they're like, no, it's good. You're fine.
The truth is, one thing that I thought about that is you can think that there's stuff wrong all you want, but the day that something is wrong, you would know.
You would know.
Your body would let you know.
Body would tell
instantly. You. The day something really is wrong, your body would let you know.
Oh yeah, I can't get up the steps the way I used to. I went to the doctors and found out I have cancer in my blood and I have 6 months to live. You do hear horror stories like that, but it's not common. Yeah. Think about everybody you know. Everybody you've everybody you've ever met, everybody you see on social media, you don't see it happen, and you hear one story about it happening, and you're like, well, that could happen to me.
It could.
But it's not a way to live your life.
And we've talked about that before a million times, which is a scary thing, and it all ties into the no-limit theme, is that if you are to believe that anything good can happen to you, that anything rare that's good can happen to you, that anything extremely an anomaly can happen to you, then no limit, you gotta also believe, it sucks to say, but you gotta also believe that the same thing applies to bad things. Any bad thing can happen to you, it can be you. We had this conversation way back in No Limit BC. It can be you. That was the simple statement we used. Everything that's out there, it can be you. And don't ever think that it can't, because it can.
Correct. Just the last episode 89. I said, I've taken the subway at bad times. I've been in shady areas at bad times. Fortunately for me, knock on wood, nothing's ever fucking happened to me. But how many times has someone been on the subway and got raped or murdered or mugged? My dad told me before, like, he was on the subway one time. He was at the subway and he fell asleep and he woke up and someone cut his fucking pockets out and robbed him. That happened to him. That happened to him.
Cut his pockets out.
Cut his pockets out. Cut his pockets out while he was asleep at the subway station. Shit happens to people. That's never happened to me. People get cancer. That's never happened. Like, but who's to say it won't and who's to say it will, right? So, as cliche as it is to say, you can't live your life thinking something bad is going to happen to you. Wouldn't you much rather live your life thinking nothing's ever bad's going to happen, and then when it does, you deal with it when it happens? Why am I going to be so pent up and worried about getting lung cancer?
Exactly. You'll waste all your time worrying about it.
But I'm 26 years old. I might, knock on wood, I might get fucking lung cancer when I'm 70.
Yeah.
I'm 26. What the fuck am I worried for?
Yeah. Honestly, though.
So, but these thoughts over time and over years broke me. And it got to a point where my mental health started to get really, really, really bad over it. And I'm not saying I kicked this, a long time ago. This is a recent development for me, because I've just started to, within the past like 6 months, really try to tackle it and get over it and, try to calm my nerves down, because it's just pointless. It's just not a way to live. And if you don't, so I started taking antidepressants again and started taking my anxiety medication. And unfortunately, medication is helping me in this situation. Without it, I probably wouldn't have the same, the same result. But to have the clarity to not be wasting so much mental capacity on thoughts that aren't real is unrivaled to any feeling in the entire world. You know, once you can free your brain from thinking bad things are happening when they're actually not, and just see the world at face value, the only thing that is happening in my world right now is this camera on me and me and you having a conversation for the No Limit Podcast and the No Limit Podcast fans. That is the only thing that is currently taking place in my life. So what the fuck else could I be worried about?
Oh, slowly but surely the poles on Earth are shifting, and it's going to send everything out of whack, and we're all going to die. That could be
There's
what
always
you should be
theories
worried
out there.
about.
Always fucking out of the wall
Always theories. They can't all be true.
They
Tell
can't
you
all be
that.
true, and they're not all true.
Can't all be true.
Just like fucking you smoke fucking weed your whole life, you'll get lung cancer. Nah, fuck that. Look at Willie Nelson. My man's killing it. You know? My man's been blowing tree forever.
Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Chong, they've been hotboxing the whip for 80 years.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
He does look a little weird, but he is alive.
He looks a little weird, but he's alive and he's thriving.
Yeah.
He was at the Super Bowl halftime show 2 years ago. He's literally been smoking. He's been inhaling blunt tobacco smoke for 30 years, all day long.
Ain't nothing but a G thing.
Also,
Seen your G mom and a G string.
what's your favorite Snoop Dogg song?
Snoop Dogg. Oh, I used to love the one with him, and I don't know if it was just Pharrell or the group that Pharrell's in that would go Snoop.
Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yeah,
Dude, he's got one.
that's probably my favorite one.
I think, yeah, Drop It Like It's Hot is crazy.
It's such a hit. It's so simple. When the pimp's in the crib, man.
But
It's It's just it's
that's
lovely.
a song that gets everybody going. Your grandmom will get up at the block party and fucking shake her ass to Drop It Like It's Hot. That song gets everyone
Dude,
going.
shout out my dad's mom. Her fucking phone ringtone was the Pussycat Girls. Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? That shit was
Really?
fire. 60-year-old lady. When that phone starts blinging, that's what you hear. Pussycat.
That's
dolls.
crazy. That's a G move. Snoop Dogg. It was a song in Madden with T-Pain, I think. I can't remember what it was.
Snoop's had plenty of Madden hits.
But yeah, nah, that's a banger. Someone who played Madden fucking knows.
But as we're saying, though, bro, all these theories people got about the world can't be true. Lately, the one that I'm hearing most and the one that I feel like is being shoved down our throat in the algorithms of videos that we all see is this thing about the world's poles shifting. That
I heard about this.
That the North and South Pole will shift, and that will send the whole Earth out of whack. Like, winds will be astronomically fast, numbers we've never recorded. The waters will rise, it'll send everything flying in opposite directions. Now, they say that this happens every so amount of years. Now, they being anybody who's ever fucking talked about it, and ever so amount of years being anything between, 10,000 and 800,000. Everybody's got different theories for how long the cycle lasts. But what I don't understand, and this is a big thing we've always talked about on No Limit, that no one knows about the past. No one knows. Anyone who opens their mouth about the past, I don't care what history books you've read, what research you've done, bro, if you're trying to tell me something that happened 100,000 years ago, even 1,000 years ago, you don't fucking know. Stop acting like you do. But people want to say that these pole shifts happen every certain amount of years, and we're long overdue for one. So who knows when the next one's going to happen. But what I want to get at is, if this is true, right? Okay, you're telling me this now. The pole shift happens. Let's just for a second say I believe you. If it's true that every 10 to 12,000 years the poles randomly shift, society has to start over. They said, I've heard theories that like maybe some portions of the earth wouldn't be as affected by it, and that's what would leave the human population. Like maybe last time it happened and it only left the human population with 3,000 total people somewhere in the world. So that's why it continued, but it reset us way back. If I believe you when you say that, then anything that you've told me about history previous to whenever that last pole shift happened never happened. How am I supposed to believe you that 800,000 years ago, the Homo habilis, whatever, was walking the earth, but you tell me that 10,000 years ago, the earth's poles flipped and reset human society to 3,000 people? So those 3,000 people, remembered everything that happened from before?
No way.
And they rewrote all the history so we would all still
Or even
know?
if they lived through it, like so many years have gone by where nobody remembers that. You know, if those 3,000 people lived, right? And then they went on to tell their kids and their grandkids told their grand. Eventually down the line, it just stopped being talked about.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, it stopped being talked about. So today's day and age, we would have no clue if that ever transpired. And if it did, what they thought about it or what happened. We would have no clue. It's been thousands of years.
And that's why I believe that we live in a simulation that started in the year anywhere between 1776 and 1850. And every other bit of prehistorical information was pre-programmed into the simulations that got dropped in 1776 or anywhere between 1850. And all the original ones, the original characters that were dropped in, had pre-programmed history into their brains that they passed down to people for the next couple hundred years.
I don't know, dude. It's definitely tough to think about. I saw on Joe Rogan, I know everyone's like, "Oh my God, Joe Rogan, whatever." But it was something about like a super volcano, and every 600 to 800,000 years, this super volcano erupts and it wipes human civilization
and
out.
that's funny because that's exactly what I was getting at. I couldn't remember
where'd that come from.
I couldn't remember the thing that was a further timeline, but it's like if you're gonna tell me that a super volcano every 600 to 8,000 years has destroyed the earth and restarted human civilization. If you're going to tell me that, then how are you also going to tell me that every 12,000 years the poles shift and that resets the earth? Because now we're starting to get into way too many resets for us to even be here right now. Only one out of these two things can be true, and that's only two things that includes the one you just brought up and the one I brought up. There's many more. There's absolutely many, many, many more. I was just at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago. They're showing me all the different breeds of, people or just mammals that led up to us becoming human. The humans that we know now, which is like, I don't know, Homo something is what they call us scientifically. But, okay, if you're going to tell me all those existed...
Right now we're Homo sapiens.
Homo sapiens, exactly.
Yeah, we're Homo sapiens.
But if you're going to tell me all these other ones like Homo habilis, Homo
erectus,
Homo
genius.
No, that's spoiled milk. Homo neanderthalis, that was one.
Is that the whole word?
If you're going to tell me that that's all true, right? And you know this history back to 800,000 years ago, well, hell, if the fucking volcano erupted 600,000 years ago and killed everybody, how are you telling me that all this other shit happened? And then you throw that other one on there, 12,000 years ago, this happened. Like, they all can't be true. They all can't be true. So why even try to prove any of them? Why?
Because everybody's always looking for an understanding. There's a huge market for the understanding of why we are and what we are. But the truth of the matter is that we might just never know. And there might not be a point in trying to figure it out. And it's just to take this fucking thing for a ride. Because even if we found out, oh yeah, we were created by God. Excuse me. What would we do then? If we found out God was real,
with 100%
concrete evidence, God was real, he was watching, he created all of us, and we'll all go to heaven based off our fucking actions.
I'll tell you what, there'd be a lot more people at church on Sunday.
There'd be a ton of people. That would be the only thing that would change.
There'd be a ton of people at church on Sunday.
But you know what's going to happen? That's probably what's going to happen is that like this alien invasion thing is going to happen. Do you see the mothership that might be in the solar system now?
Wait, I thought you said you didn't hear about it.
You heard about that?
I read a thing today, now maybe it's not the same, that the U.S. government has published an official article that says, now I didn't read the article, but here's what I get. Now,
hear me out.
So this is an article about the publishing of an article. So in that, it says that the U.S. official article says that there could be alien space shuttles which fly to a certain point in space, and then they release like probe ships to see what's going on Earth. And the final sentence of it was, it's the same way that we would send out something to like Mars to check out what's going on over there. So I don't necessarily, is that what you were talking about or something different? That an alien mothership.
It's the same thing.
So what I read would be an alien mothership is out there, flies over, and could release like probe ships to see what's going on Earth, just like we do to other countries, just like we do to other, not countries, other planets. And yes, in theory, yes, why not? And I feel like that if you read the article, that's probably what it is. It's probably just saying that technically, if there was something else out there, don't you think that they would do exactly what we do? We're out here and we're sending stuff out into space that then shoots something off of it that doesn't maybe carry any humans. It just carries, technology to record information. Correct. So why wouldn't, if there was another species out there, they would do the same thing? Now, they want to spin it in the article to make it seem like that is coming, that is happening, that something is going to show up and drop a ship sometime soon. But I don't think that's necessarily it. I think that all they're saying is if there is something out there, why would they not act just as we do?
What would be your actual... you might not even be able to answer this because I don't know if I can answer it. What your actual reaction would be if there was a fucking actual alien mothership releasing aircrafts to Earth. If that was actually happening.
Like if it pulled up and you could see the mothership and it started dropping out, like
they were
Independence
talking about
Day style.
It and talks about it sort of
you ever see Independence Day?
Yeah. But
where it drops
District
the other
9,
ships out of there?
But say they started talking about it. They let us know. Then we started talking about it.
They told everybody to go home, do as much blow as you can.
Do as much blow as you can. Fuck your wife. Fuck your girlfriend. Fucking play Halo. Do all the things you love because it's going to cut short.
Get them fucking knees up.
Paulie. And what would you do? That's the thing is nothing. Nothing. The same way if you found out today if God was fucking real and he created you and this was all special and Earth was all unique and we're the only life forms that matter and what we do on this planet we're going to get judged for eternal life or eternal damnation. It would change nothing about your life except you would probably be nicer to people and you'd probably go to church and pray. If aliens were fucking real and they were a real threat, even if they're just real, even if they're not a threat, it would change your entire outlook to just be like, yeah, we're not special. We're not that special. It's just, we're taking this ride on Earth. That's all that's going to happen. Your actual day-to-day will not change because you find out aliens are real. Your day-to-day will not change because you find out God is real. It's just...
Unless they tried to come take over, then your day-to-day would change. If they really showed up on land, feed on land.
I think if these things wanted to take over, that they absolutely just would have by now.
Maybe
if they can get here,
maybe they're stupider than us.
If they can get, no way, dude. If they can get here, they're way smarter. We can barely get to Mars. We can barely get to Mars with a drone.
Barely.
We can barely. But then I'm reading all this stuff about planets. We know Neptune has such a thick methane. A layer of methane that's what gives it its blue hue. Mm-hmm. How do we know that? It's so far away. How the fuck do we know that's methane? How the fuck do we know?
No, I would say that we could figure stuff like that out.
Why?
Just science.
Because of science. But how can I fucking take this rock and say, yeah, this is 800 million years old?
It's concepts that me or you don't understand that are actually rooted in scientific evidence. So I do believe they know stuff like that.
It, but as a imbecile, right? As somebody who's just a fucking moron walking amongst the planet, how could somebody take a rock and be like, yeah, that's a 60,000-year-old rock. I tested it and its minerals are 60,000 years. Do you just fucking
now that's one
input thing. Do you input information that spits out 60,000 years?
Now that ties it back to what we were talking about all the theories can't be true. One thing that if I were to argue against myself of what I just said is that maybe you could have all that information from 800,000 years ago, even if something reset civilization 10,000 years ago, only because of fossils and finding bones and stuff like that. Maybe you could still find enough bones or enough to work with scientifically from that period of time, hundreds of thousands of years ago, that somehow survived any changes that happened after that point, that you could still give us the knowledge and information even though it wasn't a continuous nonstop timeline.
Dude, doesn't it just make you think? Like, what the fuck is really going
Yeah,
on?
my brain hurts right now. I'm ready to fucking ride out, honestly.
You know, shout out Joe Rogan again. You know, that's another thing on his podcast that I saw was Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than she did to the formation of the pyramids.
Mm.
You know, you think of Cleopatra, you're like, oh, you know, Egyptian queen. You know, you think ancient Egypt. You think
He
of
was
Cleopatra.
spitting when he said that.
Yeah, you think of Cleopatra, which is actually a funny video. I hope everybody can find it who's watching this, because like Joe Rogan says this, and then the guy he's like interviewing is like, I wish I can go back in time and date Cleopatra. It's like what?
Like she want your bum ass.
But what a comment! And like for like we're talking about like science and like the invention of the iPhone and like how like she lived closer to that than closer to the formation of the pyramids that we associate with her on like a base level. And like you just want to go back and wish you could date her. You don't know what she looked like, how she acted, what her personality was. Like who are you to be like, if I could go back in time, I would just date her.
Yeah.
Like she would just accept you. You know what I mean? But
She'd
isn't
have
that crazy?
Her foot on his neck the first time.
Cleopatra has lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than the formation of the pyramids. And that's why it's kind of becoming like a joke at this point, me talking about ancient Egypt and how much I love it. But how much I respect the architects and the people who actually like investigate these things, and they accept the unknown. They still to this day just don't know how these things were built. They don't get out there and say, "Oh, they did this. Oh, they did that."
And they still wake up and think about it every morning.
They just don't know. They just don't know. They don't know where the fucking Sphinx came from. They don't know when it was built. They just don't know. The Sphinx is way older than the pyramids. It's way older, and it has water erosion on it. Ancient Egypt is dry. It's in a desert. So if it has water erosion on it, it probably is coming from a time that had grass and water and rainfall. That does not happen in Egypt in this current day and age. These things are so old, and they just accept the fact that we just don't know. Stonehenge, they just don't know. Easter Island, why are those rock formations there? They just don't know. There's just shit we don't know. And I think that instead of figuring out why Easter Island exists, why the pyramids exist, thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to get cancer if I fucking smoke a cigarette. I'm going to get liver cancer if I fucking drink alcohol. We just don't know. So why waste your breath and your mind capacity on it and just enjoy everything we have? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy. Just indulge. Have ice cream at night and have a fucking bowl of cereal in the morning and have a steak. And fucking go to the park and fucking throw a ball around. Just fucking live. Why worry about fucking my teeth rotting? It's not happening right now. But if I'm 80 and my teeth rot, I'm 80 and my fucking teeth rot.
Any bull for president 2024.
This podcast was not funny at all.
Everyone's scared.
This podcast is really not funny.
Now, you forgot the first half where we talked about shitting.
I mean, yeah, but we talked about shit in a way that was like, everybody goes through it. Everything that I said on shit, everybody knows about shit.
Yeah.
Unless you got fucking Tourette's, that's funny.
Nah, I don't think Tourette's is for today, bro. Fuck!
Throw my microphone against the wall. Tourette's are funny, though. But anyway, I'll digress. I'll die on that hill.
Any Bull's theory on Tourette's is coming soon. Not this week, though.
And it's not real. So, ride us out.
Ride us out on a golden horse.
Ride us out on a golden horse.
Right into the sunset.
There might have been golden horses at one point. We just don't know.
Shout out to the push forward time. The sun is not setting now. It would be if the time wasn't pushed forward.
Dude, fuck daylight savings. Apparently, they're getting rid of that.
Oh, yeah, this was the last year. Like, now that the time went back to this time, it will never change again.
It's never going to change again?
They're not doing a change. So it's not going back anymore. It's not going forward. It's staying right here.
Who decided? Who decides that?
I don't know, dude. It doesn't even matter.
So, before we end this podcast, who decides that? Who? What?
I got my guess.
Who?
Vince McMahon. He's got to fucking rear his head in something like that. He can't stay away.
Dude, Like, who? What man?
It's him.
What man or woman says no more daylight savings time? We are taking this time. We're riding it out forever, and everyone goes yes. It's got to be Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Illuminati.
Oh no, it's definitely that dude, Eloquise Huffman.
Drewski? Yeah, I know him well. No Limit episode 90.
Eloquise Huffman, formerly known as the Flying Dutchman. Huff Huff Puffman.
Huff Puffman.
Very Luckman. Went to the Chinese spot, ordered Duckman.
Watched The Last of Us, directed by Neil Druckmann.
Got his wife Fuckman, he's a cuckman.
Watching porn because she's stuck, man.
Bill McGluckin. Down with the Phil McCruckins. Chill. My duck lives.
What gives?
Don't make a turducken. And all those other podcasts are ducking. It's the No Limit Podcast. Episode 90. 100 coming soon.
Fuck.
Probably in about like 10 episodes. Oh my God. Love yous. Peace.
Love yous.
It's a no limit world we live in.